Today, India is celebrating its 75th Independence Day. So on this eve, we have got the Einstein of the 21st century, Professor Soborno Isaac Bari. He is also known as the god of mathematics. And joining him is a representative from the global think tank, Professor Zulfi Ali. I welcome you to this forum today. Now I'd like to bring Professor Suborno to his book, The Love. What made you write that book?
What made me write that book? Well, it was 10 special events, which I detail in every chapter of The Love. So The Love, I detail everything in 10 chapters. But the event that inspired me the most was on July 3, 2016. Now, I'm much older now, but that was what inspired me to write The Love. So, basically, I'm sitting in this mosque. Almost everybody knows me for my campaign The Love because of this story. I'm sitting in a mosque on July 3rd, 2016. It was the eve of the 4th of July, and I was asking the Imam, can I pray for America? Obviously, my dad thought, how can this 4-year-old do something that audacious right in the middle of a crowd of about 200 people in the Bronx? But anyway, he reluctantly said, go ahead. And I asked the Imam, shouting from like 100 meters away, Imam, can you please pray for my country, the United States of America, because this is the eve of the 4th of July? The Imam refused. The Imam said no. And I was like, why? Why did he have to do that? Why did he have to do that to the country he lives in, the country that's supporting him, the country that he's sheltering? Why did he have to do that to his country? And so I thought that I should formally apologize to the founding father because of that. So I went to BCC where I found the statue of George Washington. And I wrote a letter to George Washington on his statue. It wasn't exactly the best letter, but I'm still proud of myself for doing that act of patriotism. I wrote that letter to George Washington, and that's what motivated me to start out my campaign, The Love, to not only discourage what the Imam is doing, but also to discourage terrorists around the world from, hurting not only America, but the entire world. Because religion, of course, it should exist. But the thing is, extremists around religion should not. Because these extremists, Muslim extremists, these should not exist. So I want to protest not only against the original Imam for what he did, but also to extremists who target not only America, but peace in the world. I mean, look at Afghanistan today. It's about to become a Taliban emirate because America has given up on it. So the thing is, I don't want Muslim terrorism spreading like that in the world. So that's why I created The Love, this campaign. And that's also what inspired me to write this book. So that is what inspired me to write this book.
Yeah, but what is the message that you're trying to give from this book?
So I'm Muslim, but I love all religions. That's a sign that I put up. I'm a Muslim, but I love Buddhas, I love Jews, I love Christians, and I love Hindus. But since I'm a Muslim, I love Eid, but I also love to celebrate Durga Puja, Motu Purnama, Christmas, and things like that. So, Rosh Hashanah and things like that. The thing is, we are all of different religions, different races, different ethnicities, but regardless, we're all humans. And we should not draw borders and then fight and kill each other over these man-made borders. So, that's
you even fought with your own mother also, no? To celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, that's true. It happens all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah. What about this, Dr. Zulfi? You want to add something?
I'd like to add that I think that the book which Soborno, I think I'd like to congratulate you that you've written such a nice book. Though I've not read your book, but I can understand that you're talking about inclusiveness. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. See, the thing is that so when we look at the world today, we see an increasing sense of conflict and contradictions in the whole world. And I'm not talking about contradictions and conflicts just in the matter of political conflicts or nation-to-nation conflict or community-to-community conflicts or individual-to-individual conflict. But I'm talking about conflict within the self itself. You see, there is an also at the same time there's an aggrandizement or an intensification of people attaching themselves to mutually exclusive perspectives and ideologies. Now, that is one of the root fundamental problems in the world, in the sense that when you make it mutually exclusive, that you are excluding a lot of people. And it's something like, I'm holier than you. So that is one of the fundamental reasons that the world is seeing so much of conflict and contradictions. And that's why inclusiveness, that what Soborno talks is one of the only solutions by which the world can come together. And it also is something like an ideal. It's an ideal because it's something like John Lennon's Imagine, the song that we listen to, Imagine, is a great song, but it's a kind of an ideal. And I wish what Soborno has written actually comes true, and the world political leaders and the people all around in the world should understand that we need to become inclusive to be able to come together as a community, as a world community, especially in these times when the world has shrunk into a global village because of technological proliferation and exponential growth. That's what I feel.
Yeah. So well said, Professor. Now, Suborno, one more thing is there. I want to take you to the future now. In the future, you want to see yourself as Professor Soborno or Inventor Soborno or Soborno Bari, a person who invents something. How do you see yourself in the future?
First of all, thank you, Professor Zulfi, for recommending the song Imagine. We'll make sure to listen to it now. But the second thing, the question. So I see myself in the future. I don't want to invent, but I want to discover. I want to discover the secrets of the theory of everything, because people are coming up with these new random theories after the theory of relativity, and then, well, you have all these failed attempts at trying to specify what some universal law that can do everything. At first, there was string theory, quantum theory, all these things. They were specifying things. The thing is, all of these are failing. All of these don't exactly make the right modification, and all of those don't apply to our entire universe, our entire observable universe. I wish to make something that applies to our entire universe with no exceptions, because Newton's laws were believed in the 17th century to apply to the whole universe, but it turns out when you went at least barely at the speed of light, then it started breaking down. So Einstein noticed these holes and started fixing them up. And then he had this new theory, the theory of gravity, the theory of relativity, etc., etc. And this was revolutionary about 240 years later. But the thing was, this still didn't work. So the thing was, finally, the thing was it didn't work at the Big Bang, or it didn't work at black holes. So I want to be the big leap that makes a unified theory, a theory of everything that works even in the most outrageous extremity. And in every situation, Virtue had Newton, which was a huge leap, Faraday, which I guess you can count as a leap. You have Einstein, which is a second huge leap, and then you will have me. I think that I will be the third huge leap and complete the theory of everything, the puzzle that we have been pondering on ever since Einstein formulated his theory of relativity somewhere around 1905. So we have been pondering about this for so long, and I want to finish this theory, this quest.
Yeah, well said. Professor Zulfi, I would like to take your perspective also. Like, do you think that Soborno can push the limits of the science? Can he take science to the edge and take humanity to the next level?
I definitely think that he can definitely do that, because you cannot have his ability, because he has at such a young age he has been able to solve mathematics and physics, and where he is able to understand mathematics along with physics and even computer science, because there could be a convergence like what he's talking about, like that see, Einstein being a very great, one of the greatest scientists of this century, but Einstein had proposed the unified field theory or the grand unified theory, but to a great extent, he was not been able to reconcile the general theory of relativity with quantum mechanics, because that was one of the greatest challenges that still continues in this world of physics and science. Nobody has been able to come up with a theory of matter which is actually the truth. So today, with the Higgs particle that they have discovered a lot of kind of like new kind of particles and new kind of entities. But the problem is that, like, it's not going to be so easy. So I feel personally that you need to have some kind of a convergence between things. Like, I'm not very sure whether Soborno is also trying to look at mathematics like the Hilbert space, one of the greatest mathematicians of all time, David Hilbert, and then the Riemann's hypothesis, whether the Riemann's equation still remains as a challenge for humanity, especially talking about prime numbers, the Riemann's zeta functions, and Riemann's hypothesis is something where quantum mechanics, the Hilbert space, because they talk about, will be able to kind of reconstruct a new kind of a concept, and where we may have something which is going to be the grand unified theory. But the point is that whether the grand unified theory exists or not, that itself is a very big question to mankind, actually, because this is one particular kind of concept that has been thrown in for many years. And Einstein wanted to unravel this mystery. He wanted to have a certain kind of equation by which he could explain the entire mysteries of the whole universe, actually. And I think Soborno, I think that maybe you should examine, you may go into more of these kind of, these areas of quantum mechanics. And with the advent of so much of progress now in the world, in these areas, in particle physics, and correlating it with all this mathematics that I said, like Hilbert space and other things, that you may be able to come up with something which and give mankind something new. You know, I'm very excited about it, about Soborno, that maybe he's going to be the person that will solve some of the standing mysteries that are there in this world today. That's my take on this.
So well said, Professor Zulfi.